Welcome back to my channel. After buying sea moss capsules, I bought whole or raw sea moss to make sea moss gel, but it looked a little salty to me. So I posted a video, real versus fake sea moss. How do you know? How do you tell? Everyone who responded said the sea moss looked normal to them, and one of you even identified the sea moss as St Lucia sea moss. But
the sea moss grows very thick and very fast. And when you get a little bit of it and you put it in the pot, it gives you a whole lot of mucilage. The natural sea moss doesn't give you a whole lot of mucilage. And the talus of the sea moss, I mean the little strings, thin like this, very thin, just like this. But the other one is 3 times the size. And the other one, 3 times the size, it always has salt on it. Natural sea moss has no salt on it. And it gives you energy.
that video compared natural sea moss to other sea moss. To be fair, it may not be the most clear visual representation of what sea moss should look like, but the audio seems to describe it clear enough to me. This is what mine looks like. There are some thin pieces, but it looks thick to me and it looks salty to me. Now, I'm open to the idea that maybe this is sand and not salt, and that the thicker pieces are the vines or some other part of the moss, but I just don't know. It raises a brow for me. To be clear, I am not new to sea moss. I have been on a health and wellness journey for a few years. The first time I remember hearing about sea moss was while watching Left Eye's spiritual retreat at his Usha village in Honduras. It aired as a documentary in 2007. Left Eye shared how sea moss has 92 of the 102 minerals in the body. Although it's been years, I feel like most of us go by what we're used to seeing as opposed to what it should look like, because we simply just don't really know. Many of us have not been in the natural habitat of sea moss to see how it looks, how it's grown, how it should look, and so on. Most of us are not from, have been to, or have connections in places where sea moss is naturally grown. A few of us have reliable sources. Some are even getting sea moss on Amazon. I would not get sea moss on Amazon unless I know for sure it is a reliable source, or I become more knowledgeable about its authenticity and how it should look. Anyone can have an Amazon store. I could have an Amazon store, you could have an Amazon store, he could have an Amazon store, she could have an Amazon store. There's so much fake sea moss out here. There are distributors who grow sea moss in pools, bleach sea moss, and I think they stay afloat for this exact reason. We simply do not know, and so we don't comment. We don't leave poor reviews because we just don't know. And even when there are poor reviews, it's not at high enough volume. Every product on the site has a poor comment and poor review. But if there isn't enough to really have it investigated, it's not going to be. And even if someone is more knowledgeable about sea moss, to leave a complaint or to leave a poor review or comment, there just isn't enough to have it taken down. If the reviews are more positive than negative, it just simply is not enough, or even to have it investigated to be taken down. There are distributors who pay for reviews, pay for good comments. Some could be the manufacturer, like these fake pool farmers, could be commenting because they get a portion of the proceeds, so they're trying to keep that going. So they themselves, the distributor, or anyone a part of that circle will comment so that there are some good reviews and that they overshadow the negative ones. Look, I was even tempted to hop on a plane and visit a location, even go to Ireland to see how sea moss is grown, what it should look like, reliable sources. But the fact of the matter is, I still may run into an imposter. One thing I will say is I have an amazing community, and I really appreciate everyone who did comment, anyone who did respond, because I want us all to really know and grow together. A sis shared a video when I posted. One of the main things I appreciate in that video is that the sis was honest enough to say she just doesn't know, but she does distribute sea moss, and she shared that her source is one that she trusts and what she's used to seeing from that source, and so she went on to describe it. Now, when I looked at her sea moss in the video, or the sea moss that she shared in the video, it did not look as salty as mine, and it did not look as thick as mine. Those were two things that I noticed right away. One thing that really stood out to me was when she said, pay attention to how the sea moss makes you feel. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. A brother and I had a conversation about Irish sea moss, the purple sea moss, and I went back and bought that one, and I noticed a major difference in appearance.
Let me show you.
What I noticed about the Irish sea moss is, first of all, what I will say is the capsules that I had, like the woman said, I could feel the difference. I had more energy. I could feel it. And when I look at that container, it reads authentic Irish sea moss capsules. I could feel the difference, okay? I also noticed an immediate difference in the one that I bought. Now, mind you, this is from the same store. This is from the same health store. Immediately, I noticed that these are thin, like he said. Also, there is no salt on this, like he said. And if there is, it's very little traces of salt. I also noticed little bugs. This could actually be a good sign. Insects and animals tend to be more intelligent than we think, and they tend to go for what's real as opposed to what is not. I am not upset with the store that I bought this sea moss from, or its owners, or any of the people that I got the sea moss from, because I can tell that they care about the health of every single person who walks through the door of that store. And it's been that way for years. Every single encounter I have ever had in that store has been a positive experience, and I'm not upset with them. I just feel that if this is not authentic, that they too are just not as knowledgeable about the source from which they get their sea moss. This can happen to the best of us. You're never at your peak of knowledge or information. Even though I saw that documentary in 2007, 2016 is probably the first time that I actually had consumed sea moss. And that was because of this same man. No matter where you are in your journey, you will be learning constantly. There will be new information. There will be new circumstances. And I am not ashamed to say that I'm not entirely sure. Even though it has been years, I am not entirely sure. I am still learning. I am still open to knowledge and information. And I will probably not reach a level of knowing everything about everything. I just hope to get as knowledgeable and informed as I can be, and to find reliable resources and sources from which to learn and from which to obtain genuinely authentic, natural, holistic, healthy foods. And like I said, circumstances can change, which brings me to my second point: pollution. All the pollution in the sea. Did you know that there are about 150 metric tons of waste in the sea? If we continue at the rate in which we're going, this is expected to triple to about 600 million metric tons by 2040, which would mean that there would be more waste, more plastic The sea will be more plastic than fish. And that's just plastic. Did you know that there are 6 nuclear weapons lost at sea? There have been 32 broken arrows. Broken arrows are the unexpected events involving launching, accidental firing, detonating, theft, or loss of nuclear weapons, of which 6 remain undiscovered as of 2021. There are 50 warheads, which are toxic explosive materials from missiles, rockets, and torpedoes, ships, bombers, and so on. Leaked radioactive material, oil, and this is just since the 50s, like decades of compilation. This doesn't even include the things that everyday people lose every day or just dump into the sea every day, or pollution from the exhaust of boats and so forth. Just all the things we could imagine atop the ways in which people use this earth as a dumping ground without making this a redundantly long list or video. To some, 2040 may seem far away. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to see as many years as I possibly can. I'm here for a good time and a long time. I want the same for my children and grandchildren. I want us all to have clean, drinkable water and breathable air. While the earth and these bodies of water are capable of self-cleansing, there is only so much nature can do. I'm not trying to delve too deep into environmental issues, but at the same time, I must emphasize the point of my apprehension about consuming from these waters. While I truly believe that sea moss was and still has potential to be an incredible superfood, these concerns are alarming. If you ingest fake sea moss, the result could be more harmful than if you had not ingested any type of sea moss at all. Fake sea moss is void of nutritional value and may contain heavy metals like mercury, lead, arsenic, and other toxic chemicals. Before you purchase or consume sea moss, do your research, try your best to get as close to the source as possible, ensure that it is a reliable source, and pay very close attention to how it makes you feel when you do consume it. Follow your instincts. If it doesn't look right to you, take your time. If it doesn't feel right to you, take your time. Wish you the best health in your journey. May you align with people, places, and things that will heighten your prosperity. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.